Ryan Knows Tech here from techinform.us. If you haven't been to techinform.us in a few days, go check it out. We've had a couple site changes. We've got a few new things working, and make sure you check it out and let us know what you think in the comments section on either this video or one of the articles on the site. Anyhow, this video is a request. Thank you to the user, too lazy to open up my inbox. But thanks a lot for the request. I'm still taking those. Either leave me a comment, send me a personal message. Any way you know how to contact me, Ryan at techinform.us, that'll work too. This one is about my thoughts on the PowerPC Mac and the Intel Mac. And I'm also going to throw in the possibility of these rumors being correct about a AMD Mac. And the second part of that request video was my thoughts on Mac OS X Snow Leopard. Do I like it, and what am I expecting in the future? So we'll try to encompass all of that here today. Anyways, start out with the PowerPC. PowerPC was Apple's version of it's really just Apple's processor. I think they switched to Intel simply because it was better, and that was a massive market that they no longer had to have a horse in. They don't really have to worry about making processors anymore until they started to develop the A4 chip, which, someday may end up in a MacBook, who knows. But Intel, that's all they do is processors. Apple, they don't have enough resources to throw at building a better processor than Intel. They don't have maybe enough money and people, that gets into the resources thing. But building processors on top of everything else they do just doesn't make sense. Besides, Intel is very compatible, performance is good, power consumption is good, and it's simply a standard machine. The PowerPC at this point, if anybody's using a PowerPC Mac, I think they cut off at about 1.6 gigahertz, or whenever they stopped the PowerPCs, they were right about there, and that honestly at this point in time really can't do much compared to the newer Macs. Even the base has like a 2.4 gigahertz chip in it. So really the PowerPC, Power Mac, whatever the hell they call it, versus the Intel is obviously far superior. Now the possibility of an AMD Mac is I hope it doesn't happen. Personally, I hate AMD chips. I think they're very low end. I seldom find one with more than a megabyte of even level 2 still cache. I just think it's a piece of crap processor. Maybe AMD will build a good processor, and I'm not saying that they don't now in the higher end versions, but the low end AMDs to me are just like little Ford Focuses. I strongly dislike them. Intel, the lower end Intels, the Core i3, are very impressive chips. They have good specs to them. They're fast. It's like a little turbo. Very impressive. Whereas AMD just doesn't really care, as far as I'm concerned. So hopefully Apple will stay with Intel, or if they do bring in AMD, fine, give it to the MacBook. That's fine. I don't really care. I'm not a MacBook owner. Anyways, so that's going to finish up the processors. Mac OS X. When I switched to Mac OS X, January the 13th of 2010, it's a landmark. I used Windows since 95. I had never really been in love with Windows, but I got by with it. Switching to OS X has possibly been one of the best things I've done this year. I would say that it has been one of the best things I've done in 2010. It just works. If I could create a tagline for OS X, it would simply be, it just works, because it does. You don't get those error messages. Error message A, triple Q, and then binary code everywhere. You don't get that. If there's a problem, it tells you what it is, and it tells you how to fix it. And I haven't even had that. It just works, it just looks good, and it just makes sense. People say there's no customization, and I will agree with that to a point. I think that the next version of OS X needs customization, and it could use a couple little graphical things that make it look maybe cooler. For example, transparency. Windows is really good with transparency. I love Windows 7 and the fact and the way that everything is transparent. It looks really good. OS X, there's very little transparency. However, there are very nice effects due to the trackpad and all kinds of stuff like that. Really, the only transparency is down here in the dock. It's remotely transparent, and then up here you can make that translucent. So I guess it's more translucency, excuse me if that's a word, than transparency. Probably more speed and performance. A lot of people say, is the desktop operating system, Mac OS X, going to turn into iOS? with, you want to do this, you touch this button. You want to do this, you touch that. Without the massive, big multi-hundred meg or gigabyte operating system that allows you to do much more. I hope that never happens. I want to have options and software, and I want to have the complications of OS X instead of iOS. iOS is beautiful on a mobile phone or a tablet machine to an extent, but not a laptop or a desktop. So in the future, really more performance, more speed. I do not expect anything drastic in macOS 10.7. Or who knows, maybe they'll go to 11. I don't know, probably 10.7. Another question I'll address now, when will we expect that? I think that we will have I guess you could say, a opening display of OS 10.7 this fall, or maybe this winter, in the near future. It's very possible that we'll see the release date, maybe early next year, or maybe fall next year. Who knows? System requirements, a gigabyte of memory, I expect that to change to 2, because even 4 is bad with OS X. 5 gig of disk space, Mac OS eats disk pretty well. Uses a lot of space. So anyhow, I do like OS X. I expect good improvements in the future. Can't come up with that word. And the biggest thing that I want to see is Finder enhancements. For example, if I didn't run this software in the background, I don't want to do that, and I move these icons, I do not want to do that. Crap. Copying 14 gig. Okay, that's really embarrassing. Anyways, I do not want to have to worry about these icons being all over the place. See how they snap to grid? That's cool. I like that. You have to run software in the background. I've never found a way to make it do that automatically. Here it snaps to grid, and I don't want to copy anything else. Really just some Finder enhancements and, of course, the speed improvements. So, sorry that was such a long-winded video on such a pretty short topic. Damn it. Now I just dragged that out of there. Not having a good day today. Anyways, the Twitter address. Please follow me there. Twitter.com/JamesRSchultz. As you can see here, our website, techinform.us. My live web show, or our live web show, I should say, is every Tuesday night from 7 to 9 p.m. Eastern Time on ustream.tv/techinformus. So I see you guys there or in tomorrow's video. Thanks for watching, and please subscribe on the way out.